Hello everyone,
He's James.
and he's Luke,
Together we make James and Luke.
and this is Extra-Ordinary. Welcome back everyone to Extra-Ordinary, just a little bit at the sort of like start of the week where we just let you know what's going on. It's the 32nd week in Ordinary Time this week, and we're just going to have a look at what's coming up, what feast days we've got, what celebrations we've got. But first off, the theme for the week is Individuality, a very cool one, which I think Luke is just going to tell us a little bit about.
Yeah, so individuality. Oh, what an amazing word, would you say, James?
It's an amazing word.
And it is all about knowing that God created us all as equals, but we are not created the same at all. And individuality is all about celebrating each other's uniqueness and what makes us different to other people around us. Because, you know, we're not the same. We've all got different experiences in life. We've all got different skills, and it's all about celebrating them skills. And it is about knowing that, you know, sometimes people might say it's bad to be out of the ordinary and not normal. But is there really a normal, James? I don't think there's a normal.
think there is,
So
yeah.
it is all about celebrating individuality.
Definitely.
Amongst other people, which take us nicely to Monday.
Yeah, definitely. So Monday, we are celebrating the dedication of the Lateran Basilica. It's a pretty cool celebration because it celebrates... so the Lateran Basilica is a basilica that was donated to us, actually. It was first a palace, and then Emperor Constantine donated it to the church quite early on, which means it's quite big and quite grand, and it's actually the oldest church in Rome right now. Eventually it was dedicated to John the Baptist, also known as St. John Lateran, which is why it's the Lateran Basilica. But the whole day is just all about celebrating joyously where we came from as a church. It's the oldest church of Rome, so where we came from as a church, and all the work that God does through the church to everyone around it, and how it affects everyone's lives. So it's a really, really cool celebration, the dedication of the Lateran Basilica. And now we're moving on to Tuesday, aren't we?
Yes, so on Tuesday, it is the feast day of Saint Leo the Great. And now Saint Leo the Great was a pope and a doctor of the church as well. And in the beginning, he was very well known as a deacon of the church. And then he furthered his gifts of reconciling groups of Christians that were having arguments. And then later on, he became a pope, and he saw the pope as a great privilege for himself. And he saw it as a way of serving the servants of God, serving the people around him, because I think every great pope should see that. And it is widely considered that he is one of the most important popes of history. And even Pope Benedict XVI has said he is one of the most important popes of the church's history. And that moves us nicely onto Wednesday. What's happening on Wednesday, James?
So on Wednesday, it's the feast day of Saint Martin of Tours. Now, he was a bishop in Tours, actually. So he was born in where Hungary is today, sort of, in that area. When he was 18, he had to join the army. He was pretty much forced to join the military in that country because his father was in the military. So he served for a couple of years, and eventually he decided that he didn't want to fight anymore. He didn't want that on his conscience, and as a Christian, as a Catholic, he just didn't want to fight anymore. So a lot of people, unfortunately, around him saw this as quite a cowardly move. They saw him as quite a coward, which they wanted to jail him for. So he said, look everyone, listen, to demonstrate how sincere I am in what I'm saying, I'll still go into battle, I'll still go onto that battlefield, but I'll go in unarmed. So they were like, yeah, sure, if you go in unarmed, we won't jail you. Luckily, though, the two countries ended up sort of like making a truce, so the battle never went ahead. There's also another story whilst he was a soldier. Apparently one evening he was going along, and he saw a beggar who was unclothed, and he was very, very cold. It was a very cold evening. So when St. Martin saw him, went over to him, took the cloak off of his back, took his sword, cut his cloak in half and gave half to the beggar and kept half to himself. And I think that is just such a great example of how we should live our lives and treat everyone around us. As Luke was saying, with individuality, we are all created equal. That means nobody's like intrinsically better than anyone else. So just treating everyone with respect, like Saint Martin treated that beggar with respect and gave him half of his cloak, is just such an amazing way to live. And now we also then move on to Thursday, which is the feast day of Saint Josaphat, who's a bishop and martyr. So in his life, he was a bishop in the Eastern Rite, which is like, I don't know, sometimes not many people have heard of. So basically, the Eastern Rite, there's different rites of the church, and it's just the way we worship and the way we express our faith. So in the Roman Church, we follow the example of Saint Peter and when he went to Rome, and there's other apostles that went all around the world. And the Eastern Rite, they follow the teaching of the apostle that went to Constantinople, which is pretty cool. And so we agree on pretty much everything. There's just a few disagreements. But unfortunately, in 1054, them disagreements just got a bit much and a bit too heated, and a big split happened between the Eastern Church and the Roman Church. And that was called the Great Schism. Now, in 1595 to 96, both churches decided, you know what, we want to come back together, we want to be in communion with each other, and we want to just be united again. This didn't actually make a lot of people happy. A lot of people were quite angry about this, and unfortunately on both sides in each church, lots of people died, unfortunately, and Saint Josaphat was one of these people, unfortunately. So, moving back over to individuality, Luke.
Yeah, so the mission for this week is all about individuality. And now, you might be watching this at home, you might be watching this in your class or in your form or wherever you are. Your mission for this week is to look around in that room that you are in and look at all the people that you are with and really understand their differences and what makes them different to other people, and celebrate them differences and celebrate their uniqueness, and you know, maybe have a party for all your uniqueness. Maybe you want to give them an affirmation, tell them good things about their uniqueness, maybe. But that is your mission for this week, about individuality.
Yeah, it sounds very great and very important as well. So he's been Luke.
He's been James.
And this has been Extra-Ordinary. See you soon.